And still feel nothing at all but pain and the chill. Yeah, the waves crash, oh so slow. White foam overload. My mind never knows quite where to go, yeah. And I feel so unknown, misunderstood, alone, miles away from coast.
I woke up in the middle of the night. The TV was on. I turned to grab the remote, which lay on the nightstand, and froze. The armchair next to the bed was occupied. It was Jimin, watching me closely. "Jimin," I whispered, rubbing my eyes. "What happened to you?" He didn't answer but got up and walked towards me. He knelt down by the bed, resting his head on my stomach. He wrapped his arms around me and hugged me tightly. "I'm so sorry, my love," he whispered. "I'm so sorry for everything." I felt a surge of emotion and fear. I remembered the events of the last evening. "Jimin, it's not your fault," I said, stroking his hair. "You saved me." He shook his head and lifted it up. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. "No, I didn't. I put you in. You just barely avoided." He let go of me and stood up. He walked to the window and stared outside. "I don't know if it is a good idea for you to stay here, Ryan," he said. "I love you more than anyone else in the world, but I can't bear the thought of your life because of me. By bringing you here, I acted like an absolute egoist." I felt a pang of panic and disbelief. I got out of bed and followed him. "Jimin, what are you saying?" I asked, grabbing his arm. "You can't be serious. You can't leave me. Not now, not ever." He turned around and looked at me with a pained expression. "Maybe I should, Ryan. Maybe I should let you go. I chose this life. I didn't give you a choice. I am condemning you to be with me, to be inconstant." He pulled his arm away and walked to the door. It was stupid of me to think it could end any other way, that we could be together. He opened the door and was about to leave. "Jimin, wait!" I shouted, running after him. "Don't do this. Don't say that. We love each other. We're getting married. We can make it work. We can be happy." He stopped and turned his head towards me. "Do you even want that? Maybe you don't, Ryan. Maybe you deserve someone better, baby girl. Someone who can give you a normal life, a safe life, a happy life." I cried out, running to catch up with him. "Now you start thinking about me after 2 months after proposing to me when I'm about to have your child." My voice cracked on the last word and he went still. His eyes widened and he stared at me, his mouth opening and closing silently. "What did you just say?" he finally managed to out. "You're pregnant?" Tears began to stream down his face and he reached out to cup my cheek, wiping away a tear that had escaped from my eyes. "Oh, Vian, my love, I'm so sorry. I never meant for this." He pulled me into his arms, holding me close and buried his face in my neck. "We're in so much trouble." I wrapped my arms around him. "We'll figure it out together," I whispered, hoping it was true. "We can make this work. We have to." I felt a surge of determination, and despite the fear and uncertainty that still lurked in the back of my mind, I knew that I wouldn't let go of him now, not when there was a life growing inside me that belonged to both of us. "We can do this, Jimin. We can be happy and we can have a family. I know we can." He pulled back, looking at me with tears in his eyes. "I love you, Vian, so much, and I will protect you and our child, no matter what." He leaned in, pressing his lips to mine. "I promise." And in that moment, as we stood there in the darkness, I believed him. But I also knew that the world outside our safe little bubble was still out there, waiting for us, and it wasn't going to make anything any easier. The day finally arrived. After a month of planning and anticipation, Jimin and I stood together in front of the altar, our hands clasped tightly as we waited for the ceremony to begin. He looked at me with a mixture of love, gratitude, and fear in his eyes, and it took all of my courage not to tremble. "Vian, you look beautiful," he whispered, brushing a stray hair away from my face. "Even more beautiful than the first time I saw you." I smiled, feeling the butterflies in my stomach flutter wildly. "Jimin, you're not so bad yourself," I replied, squeezing his hand. "I can't believe we're finally doing this." He leaned in, pressing a gentle kiss to my forehead. "I love you, Vian. Nothing in this world can compare to how much I love you." "I love you too, Jimin. You are my everything." As the priest began to speak, our vows, our promises to each other, it felt as though the entire world had faded away. All that mattered in that moment was the love we shared and the life that we were about to begin together. "Do you, Jimin, take Vian to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part?" "I do," he said, his voice clear and confident. "And do you, Vian, take Jimin to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part?" "I do," I said, my voice trembling with emotion. "By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." The guests cheered and applauded as we shared our first kiss as husband and wife, the weight of our new titles making it all the more special. We pulled away, smiling and laughing as we turned to face our friends and family. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Park Jimin. We walked down the aisle hand in hand as the music played and the confetti flew. We hugged and thanked my parents, our siblings, our best friends, and everyone who had helped us make this day possible. But even as we celebrated, I couldn't help but think of the future that lay ahead of us, that lurked outside the safety of our home, the child we were about to bring into this world, and the responsibility we had to keep them safe. Are you okay? Jimin asked me, noticing my worried expression. I nodded, forcing a smile. I'm fine. I'm just happy. He wrapped his arms around me, kissing the top of my head. Me too, Vian. Me too. We'll be fine. We'll be happy. We have each other and we have our baby. Nothing can stop us. I hoped he was right. I hoped we could overcome the challenges that awaited us. I hoped we could protect our family from the evils of this world. But most of all, I hoped we could always love each other as we did on this day. As the night wore on and the last guest finally departed, we found ourselves alone in our newly decorated bedroom. Jimin turned to face me, taking my hands in his. Now it's official, he said, smiling shyly. We're in it together, Vian, for better or worse. I smiled back, my heart full too. Yes, we are, I said, and then I leaned in. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. His hands moving up to cradle my face. Me neither, baby girl. Me neither. And as we loved for the first time as a husband and wife, I allowed myself to forget about the world outside our door and lose myself in the love that we shared. Nine months flew by in a flurry of excitement and delight as we prepared for the arrival of our baby. Jimin and I painted the nursery a vibrant blue and filled it with everything we'd need for our new life together. We'd even started considering potential names, switching back and forth between our favorites. As the due date approached, I began to notice the familiar tightening of my belly and the accompanying aches and pains. But nothing could have prepared me for the moment our baby boy was finally born. It was the most incredible experience of my life, and as I held my tiny, perfect child in my arms, all of my worries and fears vanished. Jimin was there beside me the entire time, tears streaming down his face as he gazed down at our new family. You did it, Vian, he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. You're an amazing mother. I smiled up at him, feeling an overwhelming sense of love and gratitude for him. We named our baby boy Minjun. And then there was a knock at the door. "Jimin, is everything okay in there?" came a familiar voice from the other side. I looked at Jimin. "That sounds like," he began. Before answering the door himself, there stood Jungkook, his eyes wide with surprise and joy. I came to see the baby, of course." Jimin stepped aside and Jungkook walked into the room, his eyes instantly drawn to the tiny bundle in my arms. "Can I?" he asked hesitantly, holding out his hand. I smiled and carefully passed our baby to him, marveling at the mixture of awe and protectiveness that filled his features. "This is unbelievable," he murmured, looking down at our child with awe. "I can't believe you two did it. You're going to be the best parents ever." He glanced up at us, a small smile tugging at the corners of his lips. "Well, you're already proving me, right?" I smiled back at him, feeling a surge of gratitude for his support. "Thank you, Jungkook," I said softly. "It means the world to us that you're here." As the hours passed, more friends and family members came to visit, including my best friend Ayu. She oohed and ahed over the baby, promising to take us both out for a celebratory dinner when we were feeling up to it. "You two are going to be the most amazing parents," she gushed, tears filling her eyes. "I couldn't be happier for you." And through it all, Jimin was there beside me, holding my hand and whispering words of love and encouragement. I knew that we still had a long road ahead of us, but with our family and friends by our side, I felt more ready than ever to face whatever challenges came our way. As the sun began to set, signaling the end of another incredible day, I leaned back against Jimin's chest, watching our baby sleep peacefully in Jungkook's arms. "I never thought anything could feel this good," I murmured, closing my eyes. He kissed the top of my head. "Neither do I, baby." And for that brief moment, as we all basked in the glow of our new family, it was easy to forget about the world outside our door and concentrate on the love that held us all together.